All right,
Let's go.
guys. Another episode of GoldBallHunting.com. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I'm Brent Abel Jr. The dude over here is Jeff Jacklich, Napa Valley, California, soon to be in Pontiac, Michigan.
Pontiac, Michigan. Here I come. About 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming. The days are starting to accelerate. Yeah.
So if you happen to be in the Midwest and you're looking for some really good instruction that might be, do you get to teach in the grass courts there, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you want to come learn how to play on grass, come see me. Wesson Lawn Tennis Club.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, they're definitely lucky to have you. It'll be a fun year for everybody there. It's a seasonal job. You're there for 5 months, and just 100% for 5 months. It's just awesome. That's
it's
cool.
gonna be a gas. Yeah, I'm
good.
really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Cool. So guys, look, I've got a topic today that I'm going to ask Jeff about how he feels about it. It's a big mistake I think that we make that puts us into a court positioning quandary.
Ooh.
I think
it's not a CPU, it's a CPQ.
Well, and I think any word that starts with QU.
Yeah.
God dang it.
Totally.
You like that? You like that bunch? Okay. Anyway, so listen, first of all, guys, again, thanks for hanging out with us today. Jeff and I are still offering a complimentary, that would be free, 10-minute private coaching call. The three of us, we get on the phone, and you bring that one thing in your game right now that is just really bugging you, something you have not figured out, that maybe if you did figure this one thing out, that your game might either skill level range go one day here, might come up to where it becomes predictable as to how you're going to play.
Squeeze the top a little bit.
Yes.
So we just kind of go like this. We don't do this.
Right.
You know? We don't do the big wave.
That's right. So the way to get in that call is go over to goldballhunting.com. You're going to be presented with a dialog box over there where you're going to put in your first name, your email address. You're going to click the button, and then you will not only get on our email list where you're going to get some cool free stuff from us. We got a great video we did a couple months ago about how to build confidence in your game by reducing your skill level range. But the other cool thing you're going to get is immediate access to our online calendar scheduler where you get to cherry pick the date and time for the 10-minute private free call. So, Jeff, there's something that amazes me that I used to do a lot and would get me in this quandary. And that would be when I got pulled wide, is that I would give a lot of pace. I would go over there and I'd hit with a ton of pace going back.
Singles or dubs?
Could be both.
Or either one. Okay.
Could be both, but we can talk about singles. But what would happen is I'd find out, oh my gosh, I've hit a really good forehand with a lot of pace, but now all of a sudden he's got the ball, and I'm hung out to dry way over here on the other court. Kind of stupid.
Oops.
So I think there's a problem with teaching standard types of shots, whether it's a forehand, big forehand, whether it's a backhand, a big heavy knife, or a big topper, or a two-hander, or a return to serve. Whether it's a ground stroke or whether return to serve, is that we just keep thinking, well, we can challenge someone no matter where we are in the court by giving pace, by giving power.
Right.
And if you've got a smart opponent, then maybe you're going to feel the quandary thing.
Right.
So
we go back to my first statement. Oops.
Yeah. What? I mean, like I'm playing with my buddy today, and he shall remain nameless. Love this guy, but his whole thing is about, and I'm trying to help him work through. It's okay to let your opponent participate in you winning points. And that's just like a mind scramble for this guy,
Right.
right? He's just going, wait, isn't the only way I can win points is if he does not touch the ball?
Right.
Oops.
Oops. Oops. Right.
So,
I mean, I think you know, first there is a basic premise in tennis, you know, that it's not a game of catch, it's a game of keep away, you know, and there is truth to that. But within that same context, there's also the geometry of the game, and what affects that geometry is you know, basically the 5 elements. Every ball you hit has 5 qualities: pace, spin, direction,
okay.
location in that direction,
Ah,
and then height over the net, right? So all of those factors, and you don't need to change every one every time you hit the ball. In fact, it's a good thing not to. But every time you send the ball back over the net, you get a chance to alter one or all 5 of those things, right? So that affects the geometry, because how fast or slow you get the ball to a designated spot creates opportunity or not for your opponent. And I think I call it it's the temptation shot, right? So, you know, the
right.
quandary you're talking about is, you know, the guy's, you know, he's kind of attacked first. He's driven me over to the corner, and now, you know, in my peripheral, I can see right now no one is down the line right now. Let's just talk about singles. No one's there, and it just seems like that's a really great place to hit the ball, and I should go ahead and just stick it over there right now, right? So if I'm hitting that ball, let's say, and I'm sideline within a foot of the sideline making contact with that ball, and I don't take into account that he hit his ball from, let's say, halfway between the center hash and his sideline, if he's hit the ball from only halfway, he's going to win the point. I can't hit it hard enough to get it past him because the geometry is working in his favor now. So I'm going to get the ball to him way too fast. And I'm the one who's now still recovering. Did my inertia make me take an extra step past the sideline? So now I've given up 2 steps. 1 step, now a step to get back to ground zero where I hit the ball, and now I got to recover.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. He's actually hitting the ball cross court right now. So I've actually gained no ground in my recovery. And now there's the story that's told, right? So I think it's, you know, I think the geometry part of the game really comes into play in the scenario you're talking about. You know, that the play there is, if you're in a little bit of trouble, is hang a high roller up cross court and get back to neutral. If you can put a little attitude on that high roller, jack a little extra spin, you might be able to flip the point right then, because if he's not paying attention 100%, that ball jumps off the court a little bit, he might give you something short and shallow in the court to work with right then. But you got to be paying attention to what's going on. And so I think that down the line is just the hugest temptation for players, and they take the bait so often, you know. On that,
No question. No question on that. I think one of my favorite plays, in fact, one of our plays in the upcoming senior playbook, is I like to find a guy, you know, me being right-handed, him being right-handed, I like to find, you know, if the guy's got a big forehand, this is his pride and joy.
Right.
This is his, you know, look at me type of deal, right?
Right.
So in the deuce court, I like to serve out wide and say, hey, there's your pride and joy, unload.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a ground stroke, right? It's kind of like a groundie. I've taken them out, even though it's a serve. Boom. And I go, thank you. And all I have to do is nudge it to the open court and come in.
Right.
And now he's going, oops.
Right.
He's going,
right.
oops.
You want to take their big cannon and just immediately, you know, like one of these, you know, the fuse on the cannonball, right? You just like, you know, put it out, right? So, I mean, for me, you know, back, you know, college days and after playing the tour, it was one one of my things I like to do was, like, if the guy had the big forehand, very first point of the match that I served, I would swing him out wide into that forehand, and I would just, in my head, it was just like, I'm going to bet that my volleying skills are better than his forehand, and I would love to take that first ball and just shove it down his throat, and just, there you go, there's your forehand, dude. We're going to do this all day.
Right.
And so I kind of tried to make it a psychological, like, impact early in the match, and kind of take that away from him as a, like, oh great, I get another forehand, So there's lots of different ways to skin that cat, but for me, that was one of the things is, that, like, you don't have to be so afraid of someone's strength, because you're actually going to receive a well-struck ball. It can actually give you better timing and rhythm.
There's less to do stroke technique-wise.
Right.
All you have to do is present that big incoming ball with a little bit of an angled backboard.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing, and just letting it rebound off of you over into the open court. So I think the other thing, too, is that there's this thing out there that sometimes, players feel, or coaches will say, well, there's sometimes when you're just so stretched out, you just have to go for a winner. And
right.
I go, wait a minute. What if I'm that stretched out, can't I go over there and put up a lob that's like it's bringing icicles down with it?
Yeah. Sky lob.
And all I'm doing is I'm buying myself time to get back into the court, because
right.
I'd rather take my chances on that than thinking, I'm getting stretched out. I'm now into court 17. We're playing on the court 15. And
right.
now I'm stretched out, and I'm going to have to hit this thing into a spot over there. What are the chances? They're not great. They're not
right.
great. So I just want everyone. Go ahead, sorry.
That play is just, it's, throwing the sky lob up where it's well above the light fixtures, and basically it's burning up on re-entry, right? So as it's coming down,
all right.
You want that guy's light flashing before his eyes. You want him to have so much time he can have a cigarette and a cocktail and just overthink the whole situation. I mean, and literally, there's a lot of times that the other thing too that can be tough about that is that the ball moving, even though it's an overhead, there's so much time to get flat-footed, so much time to get out of your initial position in your setup.
Right.
And the ball is actually, if it's being hit off the first bounce, if you've hit it that high, it's coming off of a high bounce, so it can actually the ball can actually be kind of accelerating as it's coming down into the strike zone, So the whole timing issue can just really throw a guy off,
Well,
and
if you add the element of, possibly there's some sun, maybe there's some wind,
Yeah.
and so there's a lot of reasons that giving pace as a last ditch effort, I just don't think it's the right play. I really don't. So, well, good stuff, Jeff. Those are great answers. And guys, listen, thanks again for hanging out with us today. Goldballhunting.com. Again, reminder, if you want to get in a free, private 10-minute coaching call with me and Jeff, you can do that. We ask you bring that one thing to your game right now, right at this moment, that if someone were to kind of go, what's the thing? You go, well, it's this thing. Okay, so bring that thing, and we're going to help you we're going to put you in the path to getting that thing figured out, so you can eventually get the result that you really want from your tennis. The way to get on that call, goldballhunting.com. Put in the first name, email address, click the button, and you'll get access to our online calendar scheduler where you, not us, you get to cherry pick a date and time that works best for you.
Yeah.
Jeff, are you ready?
And by the way, it is a whole lot of fun. I mean, we have a great time with our students that get online with us, and the private webinars we're doing with our students. And it's not only just this great focused time, but it's really a lot of fun. There's a great exchange going on.
It's fun,
and it's just.
But I know that these guys are getting these. Oh my God!
Yeah, the aha moments.
I did not. I've never thought of it like that.
Right. Or the, oh my gosh, Brent, are you like crawling around inside my head? That's exactly what I'm thinking when I'm out there, when I grip the racket like I'm like a hatchet, you know. I can't, you know. I mean, it's really great to kind of hear people just have these, you know, epiphany moments. And just all of a sudden you can hear like them just go, oh my gosh, it's going to be so great to go out to the court and actually, you know, have some semblance of an idea of what I should be doing here, you know?
Right. That's right.
And literally we're getting the feedback too that just, you know, everybody just like, oh my gosh, you know, I was out last night and played a guy that I normally, you know, play tight with, and I beat him 2-1. And it was so easy because all I did was X, Y, and Z, you know? And it's just like, you know, that's...
Yeah, but there, you know, there is one thing. There's one thing to know that when you get that epiphany and you start beating your buddy 2-1, and eventually you go on the tour, we do get 50%. Is that 50 or is it 50%?
I don't know. I'm always going to push it for 60-40, but you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll go 50. You know, if the wind's at my back, I'll go 50 that day. You know.
All right, man.
Anyway,
what's up?
So if
go for it.
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below. And let's chat.
Let's chat, man. Okay. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with us today. Get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Jeff will do this again tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Yes.